Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Text 68, Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni. Sadhava hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tvaham maranyate na jananti naham tebhyomanak api. Sadhava, the pure devotees. Hridayam, in the core of the heart. Mayam, of me. Sadhunam, of the pure devotees also. Hridayam, in the core of the heart. Two, indeed. Aham, I am. Maranyat, anything else but me. They. Na, not. Jananti, no. Na, not. Aham, I. Tebya, than them. Manakapi, even by a little fraction. Translation. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. Purport. Since Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish, it is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the Lord says, Sadhavo hridayam mayam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. The Lord's feelings are like those of a father who feels pain when his child is in pain. Therefore, offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee are serious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very strongly recommended that one not commit any offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. Such offenses are compared to a mad elephant because when a mad elephant enters a garden, it causes devastation. Therefore, one should be extremely careful not to commit offenses at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. Actually, Maharaj Ambarish was not at all at fault. Durvasa Muni unnecessarily wanted to chastise him on flimsy grounds. Maharaj Ambarish wanted to complete the Ekadashi Paran as part of devotional service to please the personality of Godhead, and therefore he drank a little water. But although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic Brahmana, he did not know what is what. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a so-called learned scholar of Vedic knowledge. The devotees, being always situated in the core of the Lord's heart, surely get all instructions directly from the Lord, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad-Gita 10:11. Teshameva nukampartam aham agyanajam tamanashyam yatmabhavasto gyanadipena bhasvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The devotee does not do anything not sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is said, Vaishnaveda Kriya Mudra Vigehana Pujai. Even the most learned or experienced person cannot understand the movements of a Vaishnava, a pure devotee. No one, therefore, should criticize a pure Vaishnava. A Vaishnava knows his own business. Whatever he does is precisely right, because he is always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mukam karoti vachalam bhangam langayate girim yakrikantamam bande shikaram jinatarina Om Jnana Timirandasya Garanjara Shalakaya Chakshumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the heart is the most important part of the body. If the heart stops, we die. So that also shows the heart of the Lord is the most important part, because that's where the devotees live. Devotees are living in the heart of the Lord. And if you read second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, religion comes from the heart. So therefore the heart is most dear to the Lord because his devotees are sitting in the heart. So how do we know? What is the evidence? One evidence we get from Mahabharata, how to find the truth. Tarko pratishta shutaya vibhina. So simply by arguing tarko pratishta, you cannot understand what is the truth, because you may be a very good arguer, and but somebody else may defeat you in argument. So in this way, simply by dry arguments, you cannot find what is the truth. Shutayo vibhina, there's so many different scriptures, Vedas, 4 Vedas. So if you take these books and study them at home, you cannot understand what is the truth. Nasav matam nabinam. There are so many philosophers. You may say, oh yeah, I will go to the philosophers, the sages, and there I will get the truth. No, because each philosopher has a different philosophy. So how will you know what is the right one? How will you know what is the truth? So Prabhupada was discussing with Shama Sundar different philosophies, and each one had a different philosophy, all the Western philosophers. So where do you find the truth? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam, in the cave of the heart. You will find Dharma, you will find, because, and whose heart now what is Mahabharata talking about? It's talking about the pure devotees. You will find the truth in the heart of the pure devotees, because they carry the Lord in the heart. So if we want to understand the truth, Mahajana yena gatas panta, we have to follow the great Mahajans. They have the truth, they have the Lord in the heart. And if you know Krishna, you know everything, Gita says. And so whatever you want to know, you go to the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada was in South India at the house of one judge. And he was there with his devotees in the early days, Malati, Shamsundar, and their little girl, Saraswati. So he was trying to illustrate to the judge what does it mean to feel separation from Krishna. So this little Saraswati, about 3 years old, she had a deity of Krishna. And when she went out of the room, Prabhupada took the deity and hid it behind his back. So when Saraswati came in the room, she was looking everywhere. Where is my Krishna? Where's my Krishna? Under everyone's pockets and under the carpet, under the pillows. Then finally, someone gave her a hint. Who has Krishna? And her eyes opened wide, and she looked at Prabhupada. Prabhupada has Krishna. Prabhupada brought Krishna out and gave Krishna to her. So if you want Krishna, you have to go to Prabhupada. So this is the process of devotional service. You take shelter of the pure devotees. So how can we transform our hearts so Krishna will sit with us and we can see him? This process is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shinvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana. That Lord Paramatma in our heart, he's a benefactor of the truthful devotee, and he cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages. And this is punya. When we hear Bhagavatam, when we chant Bhagavatam, we create punya. So in a lecture, Prabhupada said, even if you don't understand a single word, if you just hear, you get punya. Just let it go in your ears, and you will get punya. And in his lecture on Queen Kunti, he said that every word, every obeisance Everything you hear is being put into your spiritual bank account. You have a spiritual bank account. Even if you don't have a material one, that's okay. You got a spiritual one. So by being here in class today, you are putting a deposit into your spiritual bank account. So one day when your bank account becomes full, you can purchase Krishna. It's worth it. So when my son, we were chatting on Facebook, and I told my son, I said, you should put something in your spiritual bank account. You know, it's getting low. And he said to me, Mom, I don't worry, because I have a joint account with you. So, yeah, he's smart. It's true, but still you have to do the work yourself. So it's true that whatever you do, your whole family shares. If you do something spiritual, your whole family will get it, but you also have to do the work. Yeah, so this is punya, vitunoti. Krishna cleans the heart, if you're hearing with attention, because Krishna sees our struggle to chant attentively. He sees our struggle in our life, and he feels compassion. Oh, this child is trying to reach me. Let me help him. Just like a father, Prabhupada was talking how a father will feel pain if the child is in pain. So Krishna feels it, that if we are in difficulty, he's anxious. How can I save this soul? How can I bring him back? So Hridanta Sto also, he's in the heart, he cleans all the dirty things. Surit Satam, to the devotees who are Satam, who are trying to reach Krishna. So then after a certain time of practice, there's a level called Anartha Nivritti, where we have all our desires come out for millions of births, even while we're chanting. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, it seems like after I became a devotee, then I got more bad qualities. Sometimes we may think, oh my God, where did that desire come from? When we chant our japa, or in our day. So Prabhupada said, it's just like if you have a dirty house. If you have a dirty house that's been sitting for many, many years, then the dust accumulates. It gets very thick. So similarly, we have a dirty heart from many millions of births, and the dust has accumulated. But when you start cleaning, the dust starts to fly. And then we see, oh, but don't go after it. And don't make it your desire for this life. So His Holiness Bhakti-Tirtha Swami was talking about this, how devotees, we're pioneers and we make sacrifices for future generations. And everything we do is in our spiritual bank accounts. But he says, I've personally noticed that devotees build up their spiritual bank accounts, and when it's almost time to benefit from the credits, to get empowerment and to get progress, Maya finds a way to trick them, and they leave. And they become unaware of the benefit from what is available. So these tests bring us to a crossroad in our life. At the crossroad, we can take the path of success, more selfless devotion, more surrender, offering ourselves more intensely, or we can choose the path of selfishness with all kinds of subtle attachments. So Bhakti-Tirtha Maharaj analyzed that he found there's 4 reasons why devotees leave the path of Krishna consciousness, why they don't persevere. So first of all is aparad, and this is Durvasa Muni's problem, that will take him away. If we do offense to devotees, that will take us away. Secondly, lack of humility. If we're too proud, if we think I'm the best devotee, then Krishna will see, okay, let's see how good you are. I'll give you a nice test. We will see which category of devotee you are in. Number 3 is lack of good association. So Bharat Maharaj had bad association of the deer. He didn't ask his guru if he should take care of the deer or not. So many things he could have just, take little care and let it go free. He could have done, there were other things he could have done, but instead he became attached. So then the fourth thing is lack of understanding of the dynamics of advancement. That we may come to Krishna consciousness and think, well, okay, now I'm surrendered, I'm protected from everything. I won't get sick, I won't have an accident, nothing will happen to me, I'm invincible. No. There will come a level called anartha nivritti where we will struggle, we will have doubts, we will have fear, we will have so many things. Krishna will test us. So therefore we should educate ourselves about what to expect on the path of Krishna consciousness. So in Bhagavatam, the next verse 18 in Canto 1, Chapter 2, Nasta Praeshavadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatu Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. So, by regular attendance to Bhagavatam class and serving the pure devotee Bhagavat, all that is inauspicious, almost all that is inauspicious in the heart, not all actually, almost all becomes destroyed. And then we come to Nishta, steady devotional service. So how do we get free from inauspicious things in the heart? By associating with the two Bhagavatas. So Prabhupada in a lecture explained the word Bhagavata Sevaya means Tadiya Sevaya, not to approach directly Bhagavan. We go through the Bhagavatas, we go through Srimad Bhagavatam, we go through the pure devotee, we go through Tulsi Devi, we go through the deities, we go through the temple, the preaching, distributing books. This is Bhagavata. So Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And this is a prescription, what we have to do. Every day, every moment, remember Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the dirty things will be reduced from our heart. Now very interesting, because the verse is prayeshu, almost all. So what percentage of the dirty things are reduced? Prabhupada explains in a lecture on this verse in Los Angeles, 1972, 75%. When 75% of all the dirty things are taken out from your heart, you come to Nishta, steady devotional service. So how does this happen? How is this happening? How do we meet the two Bhagavatas? Chaitanya Charitamrita explains in Adi Lila chapter 1, around verse 100. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Saharita Gaudadai Pushpavantau Chitta Shandau Tamonutau. I offer respectful obeisances to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon, and they have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and wonderfully bestow benediction to all. So Chaitanya Charitamrita says the sun and moon, they will take care of they will illuminate, dissipate the darkness of the external world, and we can see things like pots and plates. But these two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, take away the darkness of the innermost core of our heart. So first we have to bring Gaura-Nitai in our heart. Then what happens next? They help us meet the two kinds of Bhagavatas. So they bring us to our Guru, they bring us to the temple, they bring us to Bhagavatas. And then these two Bhagavatas work in our heart, clean our heart, and then we get bhakti. And after we get bhakti, then we can control Krishna. So isn't that nice? Worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. You will meet the Bhagavatas, get bhakti, and control Krishna. So this is happening in our heart if we hear attentively the message of Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam goes on in the first canto, Tarada Jastamo Bhava, Kamaloba Rayastate, Cheta Itaranavitam Stitam Sattve Prasidati. As soon as pure, irrevocable devotional service is established in the heart, the effects of passion and ignorance, like lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. The devotee is in goodness and he becomes completely happy. So we have to come to the level of sattva, sattva guna, mode of goodness. One word which explains the mode of goodness, and the same word explains Ayurvedic medicine in essence. And that word is balance. In Ayurvedic medicine, you have to balance the dosas. So mode of goodness is balancing the modes of nature. The modes are balanced. You might have a little passion, ignorance, but they're under control. You use them. Like Prabhupada, he could use passion and ignorance in the service of Krishna. He could use anger. He could use anger to chastise his disciples, to make them progress. So when we come to goodness, then the piercing of our heart, the piercing of passion and ignorance, lust and greed, that stops. That stops. And when we stop this piercing in goodness, we feel happy. Prasanna manaso. Joyful. Always happy. So, if you are not happy in Krishna consciousness, means Maya has attacked. So be careful. Be careful. So tada, here it says in this verse, tada, at that time. At what time does this happen? When you have become a true Brahmana. Brahmana is in the mode of goodness. So at the time of second initiation, we get the Brahman initiation, but then we have to work on it. We don't just immediately become a Brahman, we have to practice. So Srila Prabhupada said to Bhakti Charu Maharaj, you've spent billions of lifetimes in sense gratification, just give this one life to Krishna. And if you want, you can have billions more lives in sense gratification. But we should be careful. Nishta, steady devotional service, means I will give this one life to Krishna. So Bhagavatam goes on, Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti-yoga bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangasya jayate, that in the mode of goodness, unalloyed goodness, now we've come to pure goodness, a man whose mind is enlivened with contact with devotional service gains positive scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation. So we apply the knowledge. First, the Lord, we chant, we hear, we get punya, the Lord cleans our heart, we come to nishta, passion, ignorance is removed, almost all the dirty things. Everything's happening in the heart. Our whole process is happening in the heart. Heart is very important. And then lust and greediness are removed, and now we become joyful. And so this is the process of Krishna consciousness. And then the last verse in that section, Prabhupada quoted these verses when he arrived in Boston on the boat from India. Vidyate hridaya karantis chityante sarvasangshaya kshiyanti chas karmani drishta evatmarishare. The knot in the heart is pierced. All misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated. One sees the self as master. So what is this knot in the heart? If you make a knot out of something, it means you're joining two things together. So what is the knot? First of all, it is ahankara, false ego. In our subtle body, there is false ego. It's joining our body and soul together. It's joining our body and soul together. It is joining matter and spirit together. This false ego. So liberation, Prabhupada says, if you want to be liberated, you have to cultivate Krishna consciousness positively and negatively. Negatively, you give up your anarthas, give up the offensive mentality, avoid the 10 offenses, and positively we engage in chanting, hearing, dancing, feasting. So, karmani nirdhati kintu shabhakti bhajam, if you take to devotional service, your karma is fried. Prabhupada gives the example, if you take some chickpeas and put them in the ground, they will grow into a plant. But if you take the chickpeas and fry them first, then they will not grow. So by doing devotional service, we are frying our karma. It will not sprout. It will be finished. And so now if you study the verse, that's verse 1, 221, the purport. Prabhupada explains what is happening in our heart. If you had a video camera and you could see what is happening, how is the Lord cleaning your heart? What happens first? Prabhupada says, the Lord personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge in the heart of the devotee. You got a light switch in your heart, and the Lord will turn on the lights one day, and what will you see? So many things. You will see Krishna, you will see yourself, and you will see the dirty things too in the corner. So be careful. Don't worry about, don't go to the dirty things. But try to keep your mind focused on Krishna. And then, well, what about the knot? You may say, okay, the light's going on, what about the knot in the heart? Prabhupada says, enlightenment comes from the Lord in the heart when devotee submissively hears in parampara. And this enlightenment enables the devotee to distinguish spirit from matter, because the knot of spirit and matter is untied by the Lord. He will untie the knot for you. But you have to hear from parampara, you have to hear submissively, attentively Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting the holy name. When the knot is loosened, the doubts are destroyed. So I would like to, so this is the process, how we can get the Lord to sit in our heart. Now I would also like to read something from a book by Shivaram Swami, and it's entitled Sadhava Hridayam Mayam, which is this verse. And he explains something. He has a conversation between Narayani and Durvasa Muni. So this verse is part of that conversation. And so he's talking to Durvasa, and this, what I'm going to read to you, is based on a commentary by Jiva Goswami from Priti Sandarbha. So let's listen here. You'll get something, new information here, which was not in the purport. So Narayani is speaking, hear this, O sage, by the mercy of the dust of Madhuvan, by the potency of seeing Maharaj Ambarish, I have revealed to you this image of myself, just to instruct you in confidential truths. The most confidential of things I have to say is this: devotees are my heart, and I am the heart of the devotees. So then Durvasa says, O Lord, why do you say I see only an image of you? Lord Narayan replied, O Brahmana, do you think those who are impure at heart and offensive to devotees can see me? And we might think, yeah, how did he get to Vaikuntha? And how did he get to see Narayan? So, what was he seeing then? Durvasa is confused. The Lord said, those who are impure, like the demons who I descend to kill, do not see me directly. They see only a reflection of my form, a form that does not represent my true nature. Thus, O Brahmana, what you see is just a reflected portion of who I am. Yet, seeing me even in this way will ensure you become liberated, but not until you rectify your offense to Ambarish Maharaj. He and devotees like him are my heart. So, by troubling him, you have troubled my heart. Durvasa said, I'm so sorry. Narayan says, a heart purified by loving devotion becomes my home. In this way, my devotees always see me just as I always see them. Durvasa asked the question, is your presence in their hearts what makes every place devotees go to a place of pilgrimage? Yes, the Lord answered, and in addition to transforming places into tirthas, devotees purify already existing holy places from the sins deposited by pilgrims. See my pleasure garden. Vaikuntha is sacred because of my presence, and because I'm equally present in the sadhus' hearts, they become Vaikuntha, as does every place they bless. So Srila Prabhupada had Krishna in his heart. He made every place Vaikuntha. New York City, one of the most degraded places in the world, he made it Vaikuntha. He brought Radha Krishna. Radha Govinda is in all the big major cities of the world, in Africa, in Russia, in China. He made Vaikuntha. So that was because Prabhupada was carrying the Lord in his heart. And there is one really nice purport, how he manifested the deities here. He explained, In Vrindavan, there is a place where there was no temple, but a devotee desired, let there be a temple and seva, devotional service. Therefore, what was once an empty corner has now become a place of pilgrimage. Such are the desires of a devotee. That was 10th Canto, 13th chapter, verse 50. So I was listening yesterday to a lecture of Srila Prabhupada that he gave in Geneva, 1974. And he told the devotees, he said, you have to bring Krishna into your heart. You have to put a diamond throne. You may not have any money, that's okay. Just make it a diamond throne in your heart. Invite Lord Krishna, Radharani to sit there and worship them. Bring water to wash their feet, change their clothes. And he said, this is a fact. This is true. It is not false. You can do this. It's also said in Nectar of Devotion, the same thing. And so let us try to bring Krishna in our heart. Let us try to avoid offenses to devotees. And then Krishna will surely come and sit with us. We can see him and worship him. So I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Yes. Here's Mike.
Sometimes we hear that the devotees are in the heart of the Lord. Sometimes we hear that the devotees are in the heart of the feet of the Lord. Some devotees repeat some of the parts of
Okay, yeah, well, devotees like to place themselves at the feet of the Lord. So we don't think, oh, I'm going to go sit in Krishna's heart. That's not how the devotee thinks. The devotee is humble, he worships the lotus feet, that's explained in first canto. But when the Lord sees the devotee at the lotus feet, at his lotus feet, then he is very compassionate. And he picks them up and puts them in his heart. So yeah, we start out at the lotus feet, and that's where we belong actually. And then Krishna, but Krishna, on his side, he puts us in his heart. Even if we chant the holy name, it is said that he keeps our name in his heart. So yeah, externally it may look like devotees are at the lotus feet, but Krishna doesn't keep them there, he keeps them in his heart. Because it's the most dear thing. You keep the most dear thing in your heart. That's where we keep everything, our desires, our family, everything we keep in our heart. Just like this interesting example that Arjuna and Duryodhana went to Krishna to get his help in the battle of Kurukshetra. So who did Krishna see first? He saw Arjuna, who was at the feet. Duryodhana was at the head. So he saw Arjuna first, because Arjuna was at the lotus feet. So if you wanted Krishna to see you first, then be at the feet, at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then he will see you. Okay, and yet another question.
Thank you very much. Which is one comment that was before the problems that I can take in our education,
Right.
and the last one that the learning process of the answer, but that was interesting because sometimes you can become discouraged and feel like you're going backwards, but actually you're right, if you want to make sure that you follow the vision and understand
Right.
the process as well, and the making process.
Okay, good. That's true. Yeah, that's one of the anarthas in the heart. Actually, ignorance. Ignorance is one of the anarthas. So wait, he didn't finish yet. So that's one type of ignorance.
And which is the question was related to the example about the mind.
Oh, yeah.
So, for instance, there were religions that we used predominantly in the religions, or was the first stage where the revelation of the ignorance completely disappeared from the heart?
Yeah, when you come to unalloyed goodness, then all the modes. So that was verse 20 of the first canto, second chapter. First there was just goodness. Almost everything's gone. That's at Nishta. Then when you go past Nishta, then unalloyed goodness, Vishuddha Sattva, then everything is gone. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayani Mataji is one of my favorite speakers of Krishna consciousness. Has been for many decades. Hare Krishna. You mentioned that Srila Prabhupada said in Los Angeles at the point of 75% purity,
Yeah.
one can attain Nishta.
Yeah.
And then one can participate in unalloyed goodness
Oh, first goodness.
and goodness unalloyed. It seems that in everyday life, it's easy to get started, harder to complete. So, is it that up to the first 75% is relatively easier than going on pure goodness, not having any of the influence of the mold? But how does one practically, how does one establish it? How does one, I've been trying for a while.
Actually, Srila Prabhupada described the process the question you're asking with an analogy. And he said it's like going up a hill. And he said that anartha and vritti is going up the hill. So actually it's more difficult before. And then nishta is like the top of the hill. And okay, we've reached something, some plateau. And then when we go asakti, ruchi asakti, it's going down the hill. It's much easier. Huh? Yeah. And then you're going down the hill. It's much easier to prema. Once you get past anartha and vritti, then it's much easier now. And you can feel that. You can feel it's not easy. It's difficult when all these doubts come, all these tests come, and you have to pass the test, and your mind is giving you trouble all the time. And so we feel it's not easy now. Anartha and vritti is very difficult. We're trying to control the mind, we're trying to control the senses, and it's a difficult battle. We're going up the hill. When we come to nishta, it's like, oh, finally, some relief. 75% gone, and then we can go down to prema, we can flow. That was Prabhupada's analogy. Yeah, another question? Oh, someone stole it. Haribol Maharaj. You got a comment, Maharaj?
I have a few questions.
Uh-oh.
This heart, is it spiritual or is it material?
The heart. Well, we're talking about actually the subtle body. Prabhupada often equates mana, mind, with heart. Mind and heart. Yeah. He calls often in Sanskrit, sometimes he says mind, sometimes he says heart. Thinking, feeling, willing, all these things are going on in the heart. So yeah, it's the subtle body that's being affected by our chanting. In fact, in one purport, 5th canto, 1st chapter, verse 35, he said, when we chant Hare Krishna, we're changing our subtle body. He said the caste brahmanas complain, you have to change your body before you can do devotional service. Prabhupada said, we're changing our bodies. We're changing, by chanting, we're changing the subtle body. So yeah, it's
So when the mind is peaceful, thinking of Krishna, that means the heart also is being cleansed.
yeah, yes.
And when it says that when the mind is fully controlled, the super soul is already
And
rich. That means the heart, the Supreme Lord, you'll be able to realize that He resides in the heart.
Yeah, exactly. That was the verse 1:2:21. You know, your karma is cut, you're liberated, and you see the Lord in the heart.
So the heart, we cannot really grasp where it is in part of the body. Like the mind,
No.
where it is.
No, it's the subtle.
So
Subtle.
it's not the same as the heart that we have right now, it's pumping blood.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. I did say that without the heart you die. But actually it's the place where the subtle body resides also. It's the area of our body.
And just one question, that's about when you mentioned that your son having a joint account. with you, which means that any impious activities in the family also everybody shares. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I haven't heard that before. What I heard in Mahabharata was that up to the age of 14, the child does not get the karma, and it is shared. And after 14, the child is responsible. But what I understood from the joint account is that he shares in the spiritual, benefit. So whatever karma he has is being reduced.
That's like the king. The
Yeah.
king shares 1/6
Yeah,
of the karma of the people if they do pious credits, pious activities, the king gets
right.
pious credits, but if the citizens also perform sinful activities, the king is responsible also to get
Right.
credits.
So as far as I know, it's only up to the age of 14 that the parents have to share in the impious. That's all I know from Shastra. Hare Krishna. Okay, this one had his hand up a long time ago. Oh, and you have a question, okay. We'll see how long it takes to get back there. Oh, okay, this one had his hand, yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful class. As you stated, there are 4 things which will take us down in our devotional services. So, if even unintentionally we make an offense or we do things which we are not supposed to do, which may take us down in devotional services. So, what should one do here?
Unintentional.
Yeah, you don't know this.
Shri Prabhupada said there's 2 categories of fall down, accidental and premeditated. So if your fall down is premeditated, then that's a real offense. If your fall down is due to unintentional, then that is not a heavy offense. And Srila Prabhupada, so devotee asked Prabhupada, so how do you tell the difference between accidental and premeditated? And Prabhupada said, if the devotee may go away from either one of those, accidental, premeditated, he may go away from devotional service. So Prabhupada said, if he comes back, it was accidental. If he comes back to devotional service. Okay. Okay, your turn. Yes.
Speaking about Prabhupada said you should put diamond in your heart.
Diamond throne.
So that you can worship the Lord sitting there. So mentally we can do this one by putting diamond in. Mentally
Yeah.
thinking that we are worshiping the Lord. We can do that.
Yes, that's what Prabhupada said. We'll give it to the Mataji and then... Oh, you came. Good.
Thank you for your wonderful class, ma'am. I have 2 questions for you. So, one of the very famous verse that you also mentioned, Narayani was
Which one?
You know, the verse which says that from the beginning of the Bhagavad-Gita, almost all the...
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to understand for a long time what it meant almost,
Yeah.
because of this.
Almost means passion and ignorance are pretty much removed. Almost all, pretty much goodness, and you become in goodness. You become in goodness. Means passion and ignorance are pretty almost all gone, and it's not piercing your heart anymore. You don't feel the effects of passion and ignorance. You don't feel the effects, and you're in goodness.
My second question is, this chapter is all about friends.
Friends.
And you mentioned the self-friends, and you also mentioned friends.
Right.
So, I'm afraid my question is it's not personal. I just wanted to understand this, that sometimes so one of the offense to a Vaishnava is like you don't smile when you see a Vaishnava. And then we've also I've heard for many, many years that sometimes there's a difference difference, there's some difference between Vaishnavas, so we are advised to keep some quote-unquote respectable distance. We keep distance. So Matav, could you help me resolve this seeming...
Well, Nectar of Instruction explains which devotee you should keep distance from. One who is just, maybe he chanted the holy name once. So yeah, you can keep distance from that one. He's Kanishta Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari, you should make friendship, and Uttama, you should serve. And so like that, that's what I know.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Mother.
But you can't just keep smiling the whole day. It's hard. I mean.
That's not what I meant. I've seen how much devotees, sometimes devotees who have been practicing for so long,
right,
and really above, at least at the Navadvip level, if not higher, then must be Navadvip level. I don't know. But I'm talking about devotees within ISKCON that they keep really big distances amongst each other, and there's a lot of, not just that, but bitterness also. So my question is that, are we then causing Vaishnava pride? Then we have the good reasons for why they are doing that. That's actually the question.
Yeah, if you have good reason, then it's not aparad. But the other person might make aparad to you, so it's better you keep distance. You have to think that way too. That maybe they're making offense to you, so it's good for them if you keep distance. Okay, we had a question there.
Thank you for the lecture. My question is, our mind continuously plays tricks on us, and sometimes our minds are so good at rationalizing almost everything. So in that case, how do we judge ourselves or introspect and analyze where we stand? And Prabhupada mentioned that at 75% almost we are completely in the mode of goodness. So how do we judge where we stand right now and how we are progressing?
So for that you need help. You need Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. You consult with the Guru, you consult with Sadhu, and you consult with Shastra if you're confused about where you stand. Because alone it's very difficult, but the devotees will surely help you. They will let you know what your problems are, especially your faults, your problems. Just go to the devotees. And they will help you with that. Okay? Any other? Yes, Anandamai.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, like Maharaj Guru said that he took that example of joint account, and he said that your son and you are connected. So in same terms, I want to know what is the risk and what is the connection between a counselor and a counseling. Not a spiritual master, but a counselor and counseling. How much karma or how much effect they produce on your spiritual life?
Actually, I don't have experience with this because we never had this in our time with Prabhupada, so I don't think I could answer that question. You could ask your counselor, though. How much karma are you taking from me? I don't know what they would say. That's a question for your counselor to ask them. Maharaj.
If the counselor, again, as you mentioned, according to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, he helps a lot. But if it's not going to be according to Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and we had an instance that a counselor is way out of the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, he created havoc to the person he's counseling. It's unimaginable. But the devotee has full faith that the counselor is doing the right thing. Not until they realize that, hey, this is out of the way. So be very careful. You have to read, you have to chant. You just don't accept blindly what the counselor says. Otherwise you'll be in trouble.
Okay, so consult Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra when you hear something from your counselor. Make sure they agree. Okay, any other question? Oh, it's time. Jai, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.